Good evening, everyone. Our team is going to present about mental health. Mentally ill and physically ill are almost the same, but our society is considering the two things differently. Our goal is to make society to be open and not to ignore these critical issues happening nowadays. Jee-hong and Jee-won will present about connection between mental health and stigma. Sung-gi will talk about relationship between addiction and mental health. And Sung-jun will gonna present about how food can affect our mental health.
Our presentation is about connection between social stigma and mental health. Shannon L. Elder is an inspirational author that has set out to write the most inspirational quotes on Goodreads. By looking at the quotes, people divide our society into two groups, mental ill and not. The real problem in this situation is that mental illness people are challenged by the stereotypes and prejudice that result from misconceptions about mental illness. We are going to talk about the ways in reducing social stigma toward people who have mental illness. There are numerous ways, such as promoting educational campaign. Another way to combat stigma is through anti-discrimination policy and legislation.
There are two types of stigma in our society, public and self-stigma. To be specific, in public stigma, we have negative belief about a group like they're dangerous, unpredictable, and incompetent. As a result, they get discriminated by public in many ways, such as avoidance, without employment, and housing opportunities. In addition, self-stigma is caused by person itself who have suffered from mental illness, and they think themselves as less valued because of their mental illness, which result to fails to pursue their own work and social activities. This kind of stigma leads to process of vicious circle. People have stereotyped toward mentally ill people, which leads to division of society as versus them. It results mentally disordered people to lose social status. It makes another discrimination and make people level the group of people in our society. Having stigma can contribute in three problems. First, access to housing and employment. Second, damaging social relationship and social participation. Third, reducing self-esteem and dignity. So, we found a survey that Amnesty International Ireland recently conducted a research into the experience of discrimination as reported by people with mental health problems. Nearly everyone who participated in the study reported some level of unfair treatment as a result of mental health problem. More than 70% of participants concealed their mental health problems from others. 3 in 5 stopped working, and more than half stopped themselves engaging in education. So we conducted a similar survey in Halley University to know how widespread social stigma is in our students. Do you want? So, this was the questions in the survey we did, and the result was different from what we thought. We thought that social stigma is widespread in students, but when we gave scores to each questions and calculated the numbers, most of the CIS students scored low scores in social stigma part. However, our goal is not focus on reducing stigmatic people in CIS, but to reduce stigma in our society.
Educational campaign can reduce stigma. One good example is Jack Project. Jack Project is a campaign that can help people to know mental problems are not just happening to other people, but friend, colleague, and family. It teaches the basic knowledge of mentally ill, and it strives to reduce the suicide rates, also try to improve the well-being of young people. Such campaign is an effective way to reduce stigma. To promote such campaign, we have to be open-minded and regard mental illness is a common thing and can affect people of all ages, backgrounds, and cultures. Such things should not be a barrier in living a fulfilling and successful life. Another way to combat stigma is through anti-discrimination and policy and legislation. One good example is that the Equality Act made in Great Britain to discriminate directly or indirectly against someone who has a disability in work, education, public services, and several other specified situations. The Act requires employers to make reasonable adjustments in the workplace if a person's disability puts them at a disadvantage compared to others. This kind of activity help people to be in better conditions to perform better at work, which benefits both employers and workers, because if workers can perform in comfortable environment, the productivity can also increase. So we find that similar legislation in Korea, and there was an act for the mental health, but most of Koreans were not aware of it. Our goal is to promote these things to people, to actively make this act work in reality. Theory without practice will serve for nothing. You learn what is stigma, problem of, and how to solve this problem. We hope that 3 things you learn in our presentation help you to change your perspective towards mentally ill people. Thank you.
우리